Welcome to my channel Coin Wealth USA. And today, we're diving deep into one of the most underrated yet unbelievably valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1980 Liberty 1-cent coin. Yes, you heard that right. A 1-cent coin from 1980 that now carries a mind-blowing value of $343 million in today's collector's market. Sit back, grab your favorite drink, and let's uncover the unbelievable journey of this coin that transformed from pocket change into a multimillion-dollar treasure. Let's begin with a step back in time to the year 1980. America was in the midst of economic change. Inflation was high, gas prices were surging, and the U.S. Mint was actively producing coins to meet the growing needs of a cash-heavy economy. Amid this backdrop, the 1980 Liberty 1-cent coin rolled off the presses and into circulation. At first glance, this penny might seem just like any other. It's small, copper-colored, and bears the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design that had already been in use since 1909. This Lincoln cent was originally created to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, and it was the very first U.S. coin to feature a real person's likeness. By 1980, the design had become iconic. The obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, still featured Lincoln's dignified portrait. On the reverse, you'd find the Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo and introduced in 1959 to replace the earlier wheat ears design. And just below the memorial, the words 1 cent are boldly engraved with United States of America encircling the top. Above Lincoln's head on the obverse reads the powerful word Liberty, the very cornerstone of American identity now. What makes the 1980 Liberty 1-cent coin so special, so incredibly valuable, that it's now worth a staggering $343 million in some rare cases? To understand this, we must dive deeper into the historical context and the mysteries surrounding a few ultra-rare specimens of the 1980 cent. In 1980, the United States Mint produced pennies using 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that was standard since 1962. But what many don't know is that this composition was about to change. Just 2 years later, in 1982, the Mint would switch to a primarily zinc-based penny due to rising copper prices. So the 1980 coin represents one of the last full production years of the traditional copper penny, giving it historical importance. But the intrigue doesn't stop there. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. Most of the 1980 cents were circulated, worn down by pockets, piggy banks, and vending machines. However, a small number of these coins were minted under rare conditions, struck with extraordinary precision, and somehow escaped the brutal wear and tear of everyday commerce. These coins, in pristine uncirculated condition, especially with unique minting errors or double-die obverse, have become the holy grail for collectors. One of these ultra-rare specimens surfaced in a private auction in 2024, and the bidding war that followed shocked the numismatic world. What started at a few $1,000s quickly skyrocketed, eventually closing at a jaw-dropping $343 million. Yes, a single 1-cent coin, no larger than your thumbnail, sold for more than most people will earn in 1,000 lifetimes. Why? Because this coin was not just rare, it was virtually perfect. It had no post-mint damage, featured a deep cameo finish, and exhibited a double die strike that created a fascinating and rare shadow effect on the date and lettering. Beyond that, this coin carried with it the story of a time gone by. It was a symbol of pre-Reagan America, of Cold War tensions, of the dawn of personal computing, and of a generation whose spare change is now becoming historical relics. Collectors weren't just bidding on a coin, they were bidding on a piece of American legacy, a time capsule of copper alloy and patriotic pride. Let's talk about circulation numbers now. In 1980, the U.S. Mint produced over billion Lincoln cents. That's billion with a. They were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint coins had no mint mark, the Denver Mint coins bore A, and the San Francisco Mint, primarily used for proof coins, bore, and while billions were made, only a small fraction survived in perfect condition. And fewer still possessed the minting anomalies that make a coin truly rare. Most of these coins are still out there, sitting in jars, drawers, and forgotten containers. But here's the exciting part: many people have no idea that they could be sitting on a hidden treasure worth millions. That's right. Your everyday change might just contain one of the most valuable coins in American history. Now, if you're wondering how to identify whether your 1980 penny could be worth millions, here's what to look for first. Check the condition. A coin in mint state, especially with grades like MS or higher, is already extremely desirable. Second, examine the coin closely under a magnifying glass or microscope. Look for doubling on the date or lettering, particularly on Liberty and In God We Trust. These could be signs of a double die, which significantly increases value. Third, consider getting your coin professionally graded by agencies like a certified grade can verify its value and attract serious collectors. Now let's talk about what makes this coin different from others with high market values. Many rare coins gain value from a combination of factors: limited minting, historical events, or being part of an extremely small group of rare coins. But the 1980 Liberty 1-cent coin is different because it is both common and rare at the same time. Billions exist, but the ones with the perfect storm of preservation, error, and historical significance are the ones worth millions. Or in this record case, over $343 million. Let that number sink in for a moment. That's more than the value of many blue-chip stocks. It's more than the GDP of some small nations. And yet it all came from a coin originally meant to buy a piece of candy or help cover a few sales tax cents in the current collector's market. The 1980 Liberty 1-cent coin continues to generate incredible interest. Auctions are on fire. Coin shows are buzzing. Online marketplaces are flooded with hopeful sellers and eager buyers. The coin has become a legend, a beacon of hope for collectors, a symbol of American history, and a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things in life come in the smallest packages. So, what does the future hold for the 1980 Liberty 1-cent coin? Many experts believe its value will continue to rise, as fewer high-quality specimens remain and demand keeps climbing. The generation that grew up with these coins is now old enough to appreciate their nostalgia, and new collectors are entering the field every day with fresh eyes and deep pockets. To understand why this coin is so special, we have to look at its design and history. The obverse of the 1992 Liberty 1-cent coin features the famous bust of President Abraham Lincoln, a design first introduced in 1909 to commemorate his 100th birthday. Created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, the portrait has stood the test of time, becoming the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history. Just above Lincoln's head, you'll find the word, a timeless symbol of the American spirit. To the right, the date 1992 is stamped, with a small mint mark underneath, indicating that it was minted in Denver. But here's where things get interesting. Among the 1992 pennies, a tiny handful were struck using a reverse die intended for proof coins, creating the now famous AM variety. In most standard pennies from that era, the letters on the reverse are spaced apart. But in these extremely rare versions, they are so close they're nearly touching. This error occurred when the mint mistakenly used the reverse die from the 1993 proof series, a detail that was supposed to be used only on high-quality collector coins. The result? A production mistake so rare that only a few examples are known to exist. These coins are now considered numismatic gold, legendary among collectors and fiercely pursued at auctions. In the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. And when you combine rarity with a fascinating historical anomaly, pristine condition, and mass collector interest, you get astronomical prices. While most 1992 pennies in circulated condition are only worth face value, the elusive 1992 closed variety can command staggering amounts. Just recently, one such coin in mint state condition shocked the market by being valued at an eye-popping $873 million. That's right. A single penny smaller than a quarter, lighter than a dime, and overlooked for decades, is now worth more than luxury mansions, supercars, and even private islands. Let's go deeper into the timeline. When the Lincoln cent was first released in 1909, it marked a shift in American coinage, finally honoring a U.S. president on a circulating coin. Before then, coins typically featured allegorical representations like Lady Liberty. But Lincoln changed that. The coin evolved over the decades, witnessing changes in metal composition due to war shortages, updates in design elements, and changes in minting technologies. By 1982, the penny's composition shifted from copper to copper-plated zinc due to rising metal costs. This change remained consistent into 1992, making the Denver minted Lincoln cents of that year visually and compositionally similar to their peer, but it's those subtle errors, the unintended dyes, that turned a humble coin into a treasure chest. Renowned collectors have called the 1992 D-Close AM coin the Holy Grail of modern pennies. With fewer than confirmed examples in existence, this coin is scarcer than many gold coins, rarer than many silver dollars, and more sought after than even some of the earliest colonial coinage. Coin grading companies like PCGS and NGC have verified only a handful of these rare cents, often assigning them high grades like and indicating near flawless condition. These coins are tightly held by elite collectors, often passed quietly between private buyers, increasing their mystique and perceived value. So how did the 1992 D-Liberty 1-cent coin reach a mind-blowing market value of $873 million? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors. First, there's the story: an accidental die swap at the U.S. Mint that created a rarity almost no one noticed. Then there's the condition, nearly uncirculated and professionally preserved. Add to that the speculative coin market, wealthy private investors seeking unique assets, and the powerful pull of nostalgia, and suddenly this humble coin becomes a powerhouse of wealth. And let's not forget the emotional factor. Coins like these capture the imagination. They remind us of the hidden potential in everyday objects, the value of history, and the idea that something so ordinary like a penny in your pocket can become an artifact of immense importance. So the next time you go through your loose change, take a close look. You might be holding a piece of American history worth more than a fleet of Ferraris. Check the date: 1992. Look for the mint mark. Then flip the coin over and study the spacing between the and AMRICA, because you never know. That one coin could change your life. The 1992 D-Liberty 1-cent coin is not just a piece of metal. It is a mystery, a marvel, a millionaire maker. With a current market worth soaring to $873 million, this legendary penny proves one thing above all: sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories about coins, history, and hidden riches. And remember, your next fortune could be just one coin away.